questions. So, Representative Domina, let's go ahead and start with you. Arizona's passed a law. I think everybody may have heard about the Arizona law on immigration, giving state law enforcement the authority to enforce federal immigration law incidental to other criminal investigations. Have you read this law, and would you support a similar statute in Florida?
Like Eric Holder, I've not read the law, but I've heard many, many reports on it. I publicly stated I would support that kind of legislation that responds to the issues of Florida. And we don't have the border issue they have, but we do have it. And in the legislature just this year, the members of the House voted 112-0 to introduce an E-Verify system, a limited E-Verify system. My roommate in Tallahassee, Will Snyder, is committed to doing a bill, and I've said if I'm in the Senate, I would either support or co-sponsor that bill.
Okay, now we start on the left, so Ms. Benquist-Dillon, on back down. Thank you.
Yes, I would support Florida moving forward with legislation that would protect our future and provide a process by which we determine the legal status of residents. Arizona reacted to the issue primarily because the federal government is not doing its job. We would not be having this discussion now if the federal authorities were enforcing the rule of law. If it takes us as a state to stand our ground and do what they have not, I will support that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have read the law. I've also read the Federal Immigration Nationality Act, Section 8 U.S. Code 1324, and outlined it, and it's crystal clear. There's no allowance for sanctuary in any city, state, or anywhere in the federal government for illegal aliens in the United States. Number two, I read the Arizona bill and outlined the Arizona bill. I have it right here. The Arizona bill does nothing more than mimics the federal immigration law, and in doing so, Arizona added one paragraph to their legislation. They added a paragraph to absolutely prohibit profiling and focusing on certain individuals. You cannot check somebody's citizenship unless they've been stopped for another issue in the state of Arizona. And I support this similar legislation in the state of Florida, and I also would demand that no sanctuaries, no hiring halls will ever be allowed in Florida again.
Can you imagine ever sneaking into another country and going to a doctor or any public provider and demanding your rights as somebody who snuck into the country? That's what's happening here. I think it's crazy. The medical fraud, the expenses to the American public, the jobs that are being taken away from Americans. There is no question that we have a problem. Some states have a worse problem than others. But I absolutely believe that the laws of the United States need to be enforced, and if Florida needs to do the job, that's what I'm for. If there are illegals that are found while they're pulled over for speeding or whatever, we're going to be able to work out. Absolutely. I have no sympathy for anybody who's illegally in our country. They need to be sent back to wherever they're from. And I'd like to send a bill to the country of origin as well. They're costing us a lot of money.
Hear anything different. We're all on the same page on this issue. It's kind of interesting, though. It's we have a unique problem in Florida, simply because most of the illegal immigrants that come into this country come here legally, and then they let their visas expire. And it kind of always blows my mind where if you go to find a FedEx package, within 5 seconds they can find out exactly where it's located and when it's going to be delivered, but we can't seem to find all of these illegal people that are kind of using our resources in the community. But I think we need to put a lot more pressure, not only do something within the state of Florida, but put a lot more pressure on the federal government. The concern is what you heard from a lot of people, that they're excited about the Arizona law, but the Arizona State Police or whatever are going to end up arresting, people, putting them in jail, and very, very concerned that the feds will do nothing to deport them. So they're going to end up in the Florida jail, I mean, in the Arizona jails or potentially the Florida jails, and we're going to be picking up the tab, which is going to kind of like exacerbate the frustration and the anger. I think we have to hold our employers accountable for making sure that their employees are legal. As an employer, I filled out an I-9 on all my employees, and I was told that if you didn't have an I-9 to prove that that was a legal resident of the state of Florida and had the ability to work, that you could be fined up to $1,500 a day for every day that that employee was there. And I don't know what happened to that and why we lost it, but we need to kind of move forward because I will tell you, everybody you talk to, the citizens of this state are frustrated.